Edit audio.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Hopkins, and this is Well Adjusting, where I talk to people about life stuff, but not in an NPR way. It's more like we're at the bar, having cocktails, getting into your business sort of way.
It's giving drunk NPR.
Oh, and producer Steph is here too.
Hello.
Today we chat, well, can I really have it all? Hello, everyone. All right, I am excited to be back with you today because we are talking about a topic that is near and dear to, well, not just my heart, but my operating system. Trying to fit in everything all at once, all the time. Seem impossible? Yeah, because it is. But that doesn't stop us from trying, and it doesn't stop Thomas either. Now, Thomas is a single dad. He's got a great career, a podcast on the side, and a lawn that needs to be mowed. But he also wants to explore and to date and to learn how to make new foods and travel and learn a new language. Okay, maybe he doesn't want to learn a language, but he wants to do a lot of that stuff. So we're going to sit down with Thomas and we're going to see if we can figure out if that's even possible or if maybe there's another way to look at this whole conundrum. Okay, here's Thomas.
I am Thomas J. Brown. I'm a web developer and a podcaster, and I think I'm a pretty great guy. I don't know.
All right. Well, so what did you want to talk about today with us, Thomas?
Well, something that I've been struggling with lately is time management. So trying to balance things like work and life and like social stuff and personal interests and getting all that to play together nicely has been, let's call it difficult.
You know what's so amazing is I knew this is what we were talking about today, and I completely forgot that I am doing this meditation book that's attached to this other book called Time Management for Mortals. It's something like 10,000 Days Time Management for Mortals, and it's all about how you cannot do it all.
Right. And
now I'm doing meditations for mortals. So this is such a lovely and timely topic of like, you know, resetting yourself. Can I have it all? And, you know, spoiler alert, maybe not. So
This is not the year of having it all, is what you're saying. That's not my theme for the year.
So this is the end of the podcast. You cannot have it all. Go read that book. Thanks for coming, Thomas.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me.
No. Okay, tell us a little bit more. Like, what do you want to have? What don't you have? What do you have that you don't want?
Well, if you'll permit me, I'd like to start with a tweet that I recently came across, but it's like 5 years old at this point. It's from user Ben C. Smoke, who said, "I simply do not understand how it is humanly possible to stay on top of exercising and eating and cleaning and washing and admin and work and keeping in contact with people whilst also having time to sleep and rest. How are the rest of you people doing this?" And I felt like, yes, that's how I feel. You've got all these things that we're quote unquote supposed to be doing and frankly want to be doing, but trying to get those to all play together nicely is, I don't know. I don't know how to do it without giving up certain, things that make me fat or make me sad or make me lonely,
So like, give us a laundry list of all the shit you're doing because I want to get the full weight of Thomas's life.
Okay. Well, obviously there's work. Got to do that to live, right? Especially in this country.
Rumor has it.
Yeah. And then I have a podcast, which I would say is like my big number one hobby. That takes a fair amount of time.
Yeah.
I have a son. I'm a single dad. There's, of course, chores. I'm a homeowner, so I have a whole house and a lawn and all that stuff to take care of. I live in Washington State, so it snows here, so I've got that to deal with. And then there's, trying to like cook real food, which is a thing I enjoy. I do love cooking, and I like to try new things too. So I want to be trying new recipes and stuff like that and doing research in that area. Exercise is a thing I should be doing more of. I've been not doing so much of that lately because I'm trying to give my time to other things that I feel maybe need or want that time. So
what's interesting is I think this is just like an initial observation. There's a lot of shoulds in there. I have to resist the instinct to just immediately be like, well, let's like optimize the shit out of your life, Thomas. Like, let's just fucking spreadsheet this out.
The thing is, I feel like I have like a daily to-do list, and then I have like longer term to do things. So it's like, if I get the daily stuff done, then I can look ahead and be like, well, I've got a 30 minutes of time that isn't scheduled, down to within an inch of its life. What can I slot in there? And what ends up happening is like, no, I'm going to like watch YouTube or something. Like I need to not
You
be
have to
going
shut your
wall
brain
to
off.
wall.
You're doing
Yeah.
so much.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Can I butt in very quickly? How
Yes.
old is your child?
He's 15.
Okay. Just because I
Okay.
feel like that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
Like, if you
yeah.
have like a
Yes, I
2-year-old.
agree.
15 is different
like-
from 2, exactly. So,
For
like,
sure.
if you were to look at that list that you just laid out, what would you say was a need versus a want?
I feel like a lot of them are needs. You know, I have to work. I have to take care of my kid. I have to clean the house. I have to eat. Wants, maybe like eating in an adventurous manner is not necessarily a need. Is a want. I can eat calories to survive, and that can be fine. Like the thing is, I know enough about cooking to take some boring things and make them at least interesting. But it's not maybe new, and I have ADHD, so I want that like, ooh, new exciting food, you know?
Yeah.
I have that craving, both in my stomach and my mind. And then certainly I would say, you know, the podcast is definitely, it's an optional thing. It doesn't make money, but it does bring me joy. So
Yeah.
I don't want to get rid of that. I would like to continue doing that.
Are you the type of person that, because you did say if there's 30 minutes open, you're going to try to see what you can slot in there. So you're a doer, right? Steph and I have no idea what that's like. We are the same. We are the same. But so it sounds like you're a doer. Like, how are you with yourself and quiet and aloneness? Like, I'm not great with it. So I'm curious where you are on that.
You know how you have these goals? You're like, someday I'll do this. One of the ones that I've had in my head for a long time. You guys know what an anechoic chamber is?
No. Steph
So it's
does,
like
of course.
It's like a big room where there's just no echo, period. Like it doesn't echo at all. And so everything sounds bonkers in that room. And there's a rumor, it's not true. There's a rumor that no one has ever stayed more than an hour in an anechoic chamber because you'll go insane. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have the Guinness World Record for the most time spent in an anechoic chamber, like in a single sitting? I thought that would be such a cool thing. But like, the idea of that doesn't terrify me at all. Like, because you have to sit in the dark. That's the other thing. It's not like I could be on my phone or anything like that. Like, for it to work correctly, it has to be totally silent in the dark. You're just there doing nothing. That sounds great. I would love to do that. That sounds really cool.
But does that ever happen in your life? Not the chamber part, but the actual just sitting, like slowly and quietly, or taking a quiet walk. I'm just curious, do you have space and peace?
Yeah, certainly there is some of that, and I do actively pursue that when I can. If I'm waiting for something, I try to be intentional about that time. And if we're out at dinner or something like that and everyone's on their phone, I try to put my phone down and look around and be mindful of what's going on and observant of my space. Especially if I'm outside, I'll make a point of doing that, of just taking a big breath and looking around and trying to just have an experience that's mine, you know?
Yeah.
On Well Adjusting, there's always talk about how life can get overwhelming, whether it's finding a new apartment or just setting boundaries. That feeling is real when you're caring for an aging parent, too. Care.com knows it's a big shift when the person who raised you now needs your help. But you don't have to do it alone. With Care.com, you can find background-checked caregivers for anything from companionship to dementia care. You can even read reviews from other families and schedule tours of senior living communities. If you're not sure what's best, Senior Care Advisors can help you make a plan. For a limited time, use the code POD20 for 20% off your initial Care.com subscription. That's POD20, all one word, good for 20% off. Start your senior care search today. When it's not you, it's Care.com.
Hey friend, I'm just jumping in here to say that we've got a new way to get in touch with us. If you want to leave us some feedback, hopefully good, or suggest an episode topic or ask a question, all you have to do is go to sayhi.chat/welladjusting. The link's in the show notes, but I'll say it one more time. sayhi.chat/welladjusting. You could leave us a voice memo and we might just use it on air. And if you happen to be enjoying this episode, why not go ahead and subscribe to the podcast or rate and review us? You won't regret it, folks.
Have you always been this busy?
No. So there was a period in my life, probably about 2 years back when I was married, that I was essentially a homemaker and I loved it. It was great.
That sounds lovely.
Oh, it was the best. The house was clean. I loved doing all the chores because it was like this super tangible, immediate benefit to us. Our friends would come over and they're like, how is your house this clean? I'm like, because that's my job. That's all I do all day. And then I had free time to do stuff. When she got home from work, we had time together. We had weekends totally free because we didn't have chores that needed to be done because I had done them. Our lawn was amazing. Like all of our landscaping was amazing. Like everything was great. It was fantastic. And I'm really glad that I got to do that for a couple of years. And I feel like maybe that gave me a taste of how it could be. And I want to get back to that. That's another thing. Dating is a whole
Right.
thing that also eats up time. When I have been dating people, it's like, how do I make this person a priority when everything else already feels like a priority? Now I'm adding one more priority. It also feels like there are three groups, right? There's like the high priority things that are the required things. And then there's like the group of like, these are things I really enjoy and they're less negotiable. They're a little negotiable, but they're less negotiable. So I feel like the podcasting and the cooking and eating interesting food, like that fits in there. And then there's the stuff that's like, I could probably cut back on
later.
this or right, exactly. Like
You guys can tramp through the
I
snow.
don't go anywhere anyway. I work from home. I don't need to. The snow can stay there. It's fine.
Yeah. And so it seems like there's some of that, but it does really feel like there's a needing to get okay with it. There's never going to be more time in the day. And I do think an acceptance of the fact that even if there was more time, you'd come up with another thing that would go on your wants list.
I'm sure I would, yeah.
Like probably 4 more things. And then you'd be like, damn it, I can only do 2 of them. So.
And that's been a thing over the years too. I have a bunch of hobby type things I would love to get into. And maybe 10 years or so ago, 15 years or so ago, I started recognizing that like, I can't. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the space, whatever it is. And so I needed to just like sort of package up that want and set it aside and recognize that like, hey, I'm not going to get into, woodworking or whatever. It's just not going to happen.
Not today, maybe in retirement.
Or like the timeline has to be longer. Like maybe you'll learn to be a woodworker, but it's going to take you 4 years instead of 6 months.
Boy, my ADHD brain hates that. I definitely have the whole, if I'm not immediately good at it, I don't care about it anymore. Like,
well, it does feel like there's an ADHD component here. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious how you manage that in your day to day, because it does feel like I feel a little bit like you're in a setup. You've trapped yourself. You cannot win in this setup because
that's
it will,
probably true. Yeah.
And so I'm curious, like, you must have like when you're doing, web developing is not like, I do this one thing, then I do this next thing. You're going to have concurrent tasks going and, and projects and lots of stuff going. So how do you do it over there, but not over here? And like specifically to the ADHD too.
Yeah. I mean, keeping on top of all of that it's a lot of like to-do lists. We have project management software that we use at work and that helps a lot, but it's not comprehensive, I suppose. And so having an additional sort of list broken out by project, by task, that sort of a thing, that helps a lot. And I do love a checklist. My brain loves that. If I can break something down into little steps that I can check off, it feels great. That's certainly a skill I had to learn, was taking a large task and parsing it into smaller pieces and making it, how do you eat a sandwich? One bite at a time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I had to figure out kind of how to do that with everything else. And that has helped a lot. Cleaning my shower, it's not cleaning the whole shower. It's breaking it down into 4 quadrants and just, this week I'll clean this quadrant. And then if every week I'm cleaning one quadrant, then that's basically like cleaning the shower once a month, right? So
yeah. Well, and what if you were to bring that over into your life? Like I had this thing, I've got like food issues, and I remember I've been in and out of like OA as a program, and this one person had talked to me about like red light foods, yellow light foods, and green light foods. Like red are just like absolutely fucking not. Yellow is like proceed with caution, and green is like, okay, these are good. They're not going to trigger you in some weird way. What if you put your activities in your life into buckets like red, yellow, and green, and then you task mastered out to be like, you know what, this month I would like to have gone to one woodworking class, but I know I want to do the podcast and I know I need to get to the gym. So you go in order of green, then to yellow, and then you hope to maybe someday get to the red, or you put it on for like sometime this year I'm going to get to that. Does that feel like that would be helpful?
I think so. To an extent, I'm kind of doing that so I have a digital notes thing that is synced across my computer, my phone, and all that. And that's sort of where I set up that daily to-do list, the monthly to-do list, those longer term things. So I am like trying to get to those, I've got the stuff that has to get done. And I guess there's definitely a bunch of wants in there as well. So it's not organized in the way that you just described, where I'm focusing on those, like a green light, yellow light, red light.
Yeah. I think what I'm thinking with it is like, lists and that stuff work for you in the workspace. So like, what tangible things can you do would help you start to make friends with yourself and the part of you that is always going to feel like there's something shiny over there? Because that's what it does feel like, is you're like, I'm in this space and this is awesome, but like, oh shit, but there's that space. It feels like there's a little bit of that. And I'm just wondering if there's a way to be like, this week, these are the yellows that I can get to. Mm-hmm. And then some kind of, God, I don't want to be like, Jesus Christ, start with a gratitude list, because it's like I want to punch myself in the throat for that. But like, no, but some way of being like, in this meditation for mortals today, literally the thing he was saying is, instead of just having a checklist of things that you've done and you taking them off the list, having a list of things you've completed. And I thought, well, that's a really interesting way to look at it, because it's like, then you can say, look at all these yellow things I got to do, versus being in the space of like, I'm not over there. I'm just curious how that lands for you.
Isn't it Simone Yach who made the everyday calendar where you push a little button and it lights up? And so you set some goal for yourself, some daily goal. And if you do it, you get to turn on this little light, and it's a neat looking thing. Maybe something like that. Or it's like giving myself gold stars. Like, oh, I did it.
Yeah.
I got all my greens and 2 yellows done today. I get a gold star.
Yeah.
I wrote down before you said that, like, if you have this list of daily to-dos and then this list of long-term to-dos, like, are you actually like doing the opposite of what you want to be doing? Because are you looking at that and being like, oh, I haven't gotten to do any of these like 100 things that I want to do, like, and sort of berating yourself about that? Or is it like motivating you?
I had not thought about it that way. That's a very interesting point.
And you don't have to answer, but I asked that because I'm really hard on myself. Like, I have this hold in my calendar.
No.
I have a hold in my calendar for like all these things that I'm supposed to be doing. And sometimes they're great because they're placeholders. But I've started now like working in like a reflection to be like, oh, am I missing this enough that I'm actually just being an asshole to myself every time I miss it? And it makes me not want to do it because I'm never going to like complete the thing. And I think combating that with something that is positive, because you are doing a lot. So I don't know if it's like maybe at the end of the day being like, holy shit, like take 1 minute and be like, look at all the things I did today. Or if it's like, once a month you look, because there's no way that like you haven't made progress, but sure. I don't know if you're like identifying that to yourself, that you have like done more and more, or like grown in different ways, or added different things into your life. And I wonder if some of the feeling of like always being running and always on the go is like, I mean, some of it is what it is, right? Like there are only a certain amount of hours in the day, but I wonder if some of it is also like not taking the time to like realize that moments of that were joyful.
Yeah.
So one thing I started doing a little while ago is, I don't know if you're familiar, in Japan, there's a cultural thing where they say itadakimasu before they eat. And it's not like a prayer exactly. It's a sort of a gratitude thing of like, thank you to the universe for the energy and the time and that it took for like, the cow to grow, and the rancher who helped grow the cow, and this guy who slaughtered the cow, and the guy who drove the truck to bring the cow to the meat to the market, and then the chef prepared it, and like all the different ingredients, and then the server brought it from the pass over to my table, and it's like every step of the way and it really, if you think about a single plate of food, there's so much that goes into that. And so I've started kind of doing a similar thing of just trying to take a moment and be like, hey, everything in this died so that I can live. Maybe I won't just like gobble it down real fast. Like maybe I'll try to take a moment to enjoy this thing, especially if it's a thing that I made and wanted to eat. I enjoy eating, so I want to appreciate that. And so there is that like little moment of reflection there, but I haven't extended that to anything else of like, hey, I did a good job on this. Like Maybe that's not entirely true. Like we've had a couple websites that we've launched recently that I'm very, very proud of. We're all of us at our company are proud of because they turned out great and we're all excited and the client is super happy and people we've shown them to were like, whoa, this looks so good. And so there have been like a couple little moments there, but there's not like I did a really good job cleaning the dishes tonight, or oh, I got so many things checked off of my task list, all the things done that I wanted to do. So maybe there could be a little bit more of that. And actually, I don't know if this is strictly an ADHD thing. Maybe we all do this. I think I compare myself to a lot of people and what I see as their successes a lot. And it's like, well, gosh, they're doing so much or they're so productive or they're so good at whatever. And I want to be more productive. And I feel like maybe I could. Like if they can do it, surely I can do it.
Well, as a very productive person, I will say it's mostly mental illness.
It's definitely for me running away from every feeling I might have.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you didn't stop, you might have to live with your thoughts for a moment.
God forbid.
Yeah.
There's like a TikTok, like a viral TikTok thing right now that it's like, you can't hit a moving target. And it's like talking about like depression and anxiety. It's like, just fucking keep it going, y'all. There was something that you were saying about like your work goals being completed and celebrating them. But I feel like when you were talking about it, it was about like the product of doing the thing, like what the final result was rather than like your effort that you've put into it or something, which I think is sort of like dismissing how much you're doing in a way. Like it's like the capitalistic hellscape that we live in is just like celebrating the end result without actually like acknowledging the process. And like the thing you're doing with the food before you eat it is acknowledging the process or trying to take that time. And like, how cool would it be if when that website went up and you got like praise from the client to be like, okay, let's rewind to where we were 2 years ago with this project and like how many steps came that way. And like when you do the dishes, like who fucking cares if you do the dishes or not? Like it's not that the dishes are clean and you have a pretty clean dish. It's that you like were able to arrange your day, do all the things that like bring you joy and still made time to do this thing.
Yeah. I think what I'll do now is I'll go online and buy a participation trophy and I'm going to start an Instagram account. And every day I'll post a picture of me with the participation trophy for like, I did the dishes or some menial task and I give myself a little trophy for it.
God, I will absolutely.
I think that's very funny. I don't know. That's my kind of humor.
That. Although you did just give yourself another task, but we're going to overlook that for a minute. I'm stuck on the woodworking thing for some reason because
I wouldn't lean too much into that.
I know, but the reason that I'm stuck on it is because it's this idea of this thing. It represents like red to me as like this thing that like maybe someday you want to do, but it's not like so high in the wants that you need to do it. But I just feel like, to Steph's point, one, I think you're doing more than you think you are. And that's part of that recalibration of how you are looking at what you're doing. But two, I think that there is a way to weave some reds in. Like a couple years ago, Mary and I did an experiences Christmas because I was like, what the fuck do we need? Yeah. So one of the things we did was like a woodworking thing, and we built this little table together. We had fun, and they served Paps, blue ribbon. And the guy was like, he came by and he said something about how great my table was. And I was like, thanks. So like maybe starting a whole full-blown hobby where you have a shed shop is not where you're at now, but that doesn't mean you couldn't go make a table with a date or with your son. Right. Or, I just think there are ways to combine it and bring joy in, to have fun with it, and to not take it all so seriously, because it's like you are doing it. And the reason that I feel so comfortable saying this is because I'm really saying this to myself. Did you ever see the movie Vision Quest? And this is going to be the most
that
random.
Was filmed where I live, actually.
How fucking great is that movie? Go back and watch Vision Quest if you haven't seen it, guys. But there's this moment where Matthew Modine is walking in the woods with the girl that he's like in love with. He says to her something along the lines of like, I feel like my life is happening and I can't even feel it. And I think of that so often, like I'm running so fast. I'm trying to do so much. I'm trying to get someplace that I'm missing moments of what are happening right here, right now. And I feel like probably the biggest hurdle in my entire life that I'll be dealing with until somebody, burns me up in some kind of a crematorium. Like it's just the thing that I struggle with because I want to be over there for many, many different reasons. Mm-hmm. We could optimize all day long with planners and
Right.
tweaking your to-do list. But I think that's the real thing, is it's all happening.
It's just eyes bigger than my stomach. That's the problem, is what you're saying, basically.
Well, or maybe you actually already had a full meal. You ate and you were too busy typing up a dissertation to notice that you ate 3 pieces of fried chicken, had some mashed potatoes and a side and even a dessert. Like, it all happened. You did it. You were over here doing something else while it was happening, and you didn't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It just feels like a giant reframe. Like, I wonder if you were able to adjust it. And this is the reason I'm asking this question, because something I'm thinking about right now too, is if let's just say if we were able to adjust it, would we want to do less? Would we be happy with the things we're doing now? And I think that's a really important question to play with.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it in those terms before, but I see what you're saying, and that makes sense. Because, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to do less. And like I said, the things that I need to do, I'm getting done. So that's interesting.
How do you think about things? Like, do you journal? Do you go off and meditate? Do you just like put it in the back of your head and think about it over time? Like, when you want to ponder a question and see what's showing up in your life, like look for evidence. How do you do that?
Do I do that? I don't know. No, I'm it's probably mostly just thinking about it. Often in the shower. Shower's a great place to think about
Shower
things.
is a great place.
Yeah.
I like a bath, but that's cool. I want you to get the book, the
Okay.
10,000 Days. I think it's either days or hours or something. The point is that we have
We'll send you a link.
roughly, I think it's days. It's like we have like the average life is 10,000 days. And it's like, there is no doubt you are going to die. What do you do with your 10,000 days? And you will not be able to do everything. It's really interesting and kind of confronting to people like us, but in a very gentle way. He's not like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well,
Not like that.
It's funny because like this really speaks to me for 2 reasons. First of all, once I like got into my late 30s, I was like, birthday, I don't really care. Like, I don't need to celebrate it. So now what I do is I have on my calendar every, I think 1,000 days. So I recently, a while back, I had a party for my 15,000th day on Earth. And then I ended up not doing 16,000th because I was in the middle of like really heavy depression at the time. And I was like, I wanted to do it. I know I probably should. And I was just like, I don't have the spoons for this. Like, I can't do it. And then 17,000 is a couple years away still.
God, I
but-
love this idea.
So
I do
there's
too.
that sort of thing. It's fun. And it was great because I had a friend who couldn't come to the dinner and he was like, hey, happy birthday. I'm like, that's not what this is.
I'm going to a party this weekend of my friend's 1-month anniversary since her birthday. And I was like, I love that. Like, go off. Why not have a party now?
I mean,
So-
we're the adults. We get to decide
like,
what the
who
rules
fucking
are.
cares?
So-
We can all use
Yeah.
extra reasons to like have a good time.
And then the other reason that speaks to me is I don't have any tattoos, but I've often thought if I was going to get one, I would want to get in big block letters on my forearm, Memento Mori, just as like a constant reminder of like, what are you doing with your life? Because you're going to die. Are you going to be happy with this? Are you doing the things you want to do? Which is maybe too much pressure given our conversation, but
I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's the thing that writes you. Because like you approach things, you're so joyful in the way you approach things. Like the idea of the participation trophy and your 1,000 days, like that's all so fun and like out of the box thinking. And to Steph's earlier point, I don't think you give yourself enough credit for how you're doing all of that and how you're existing and all the things you're nailing, like just being a good parent, like, and you know, bringing home the bacon. That's all amazing. But it's like, man, keep that joy and keep trying to see if you can allow yourself to be where you are. I mean, if you can, I'd love for you to call me and tell me how you did it. I mean, get the book. Like, I'm really interested to see what you think of it because it's a lot of what we're talking about.
okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. With all that spare time I have to read.
Yeah.
You know, slot it right in there.
We do always just give you more to do when we're telling you to do less. That is peak well adjusting.
Yeah.
What if we did a real-time homework, all three of us? Because I was just thinking, I do a whole bunch of commercial auditions, and like the nasty part of the business is like it's all work on spec. I might
Right.
do 200. I might do 200 auditions to get. I mean, I probably did 150 last year,
Way
and
to
like
go.
just
Right.
to book 2. But my point of this is, I'm trying this year to approach it like, how can I have fun doing it versus I need to do these. And I'm certainly not upping my chances if I go into it like, God fucking damn it. So like, how can I change it? So that's my homework for myself is I want to concretely say I'm going to approach those auditions as not as like a burden, but as an opportunity and a fun moment. And maybe something might come with it, especially since I don't have any work lined up till May. Whoops. Okay. So if that's mine, what would you two choose as a thing that you can look at reframing in real time to either accept the joy or...
I don't know if this is an answer, but I've been trying to have more like silly moments because, I mean, it came from a weird thing. One of my friends started dating someone. Two of my friends, actually, in the last little while, have started dating people. And whenever we meet up, their like main thing that they're missing from their relationship, like everything is great, but there's like something missing, and it's like the play, like the silliness. And I don't know if I ever like realized how important that is to me until recently, like just being like a goofy little guy. And so I've been since like September really prioritizing just like being silly once a day. And that looks like vastly different because sometimes I'm exhausted. So it's just like doing a little like silly voice or something. But, you know, I'm taking a dance class in a week and like, I can't fucking dance, but I'm excited because I'm like that. It makes me feel like a little kid again and like doing like fun little silly things. And my goal for that was just like remembering why we do that. And also that like just life is not that serious.
And I know, Thomas, we're putting you on the spot. So if you don't have one, I would say that's your homework alongside getting that book and alongside thinking about the reframe.
What was the question again? Reframing something to...
What's a thing you'd want to work on reframing that shows what you're really doing versus the thing that makes you feel bad?
Honestly, I think that it's a sort of two-part thing, I think. One is carving out, even if it's just 30 minutes, carving out a bit of time where the point is to do nothing. And then the other part of it is to feel okay about that. And not feel like, oh, I should be doing. I'm not doing this other thing. It's eating into this other task I want to get done. So maybe that's it. Maybe just, and I don't know. Am I allowed to fill that time with, is that like a watching YouTube, or is that more, should I be maybe more just, I'm just going to sit on the porch and.
Well, what's your instinct? Because there are times when I do YouTube and it's like, I never do YouTube. I do Instagram Reels because I'm, 50. But like there's times where I do it and I feel like I'm getting cat videos and they're making me happy. And then there's times where I feel like just one more. So like what is it to you? Does it feel like it's a positive thing or does it feel like it's not?
But if the point is maybe to intentionally not be productive and to be okay with that, then maybe sometimes we'll do YouTube and other times we'll just do whatever. I don't know. I
have like disassociate hour that like me and my partner talk about all the time. We're like, oh, this is a disassociating hour where it's like, I am not present. Like I'm not here. I'm not anywhere. There is no stuff to be found. And sometimes that's like me listening to music or meditating or exercising or whatever. And other times that's me watching SVU, an episode that I've seen before, and just like not even really paying attention and like zoning out and cuddling my dog. And like I think neither is bad as long as you're being intentional about why you're doing the thing, because I think the issue is when you don't realize that you wasted the half hour because you weren't choosing it chose you, kind of thing.
Well, and I think there's still value to that, right? You get that moment of relaxation and it becomes one of those like personal mental health moments, and you get a little bit every single day. That's better than not having any for a week and then pushing everything aside because you're like, fuck it, I'm burned out. I can't do another required task. I'm going to waste this entire day, binging some show or whatever.
But it could be as simple as, I don't know, you have to drive your son somewhere, and instead of driving back home listening to an audiobook that's about personal betterment, you put music on that you haven't listened to in a long time and you sing at the top of your lungs. I'll be really interested to see for you or hear from you, like, what are the things you do end up putting in that space? Like, what makes you feel joyful? What makes you feel free? And what makes you feel like you are just doing something that feels nice for you without an agenda? Very difficult. This is not an easy thing.
I'm resisting the urge to be like, you should make a list of all of the things that bring you joy. And then every day choose
You should
from the
meditate
list
during
and blah,
that
blah, blah.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, we are all this person. It's an exercise all of us need to work on. So
How about I just cry and eat M&Ms?
I
for
feel
30
good about
minutes?
go
that.
off. I feel great about that.
This is for my woodworking
Honestly.
class.
Yeah.
This is for...
Name each M&M.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Wow.
Oh.
I love that. That's inspiring to me.
How are you feeling as we wrap things up? I'm curious, how are you feeling about all the conversation?
I'd say it's a little half and half. Like, there's definitely hope for the future. I like this homework. I think this could be really good and helpful. There's definitely that, like, aw shucks disappointment of, like, it's not like you have a magic wand and you can be like, oh, Thomas, now you have 30 hours every day. Like, I knew that wasn't going
Here's
to
how
happen.
you fit 10 more things in.
Right.
Yeah, it's never that.
I mean, I can give you, if you want me to project manage your life, I can make you a very unrealistic schedule and put you on it, and you'll last for 2 months and then you'll be miserable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll do it for you if that's what you want.
That's the thing. I think the point is to bring more joy, not more things.
Sure.
Yeah. And maybe just acknowledge the joy that is
Yeah.
existing already.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you brought this to us, because it's like, just like anything else, anytime we have these conversations, it always makes me look at myself and be like, yeah, no, we could work on that too. Me and all my personalities. And then Steph and I will be talking about this for the next week. So I'm so glad that you shared it with us and let us be a part of it. I do want you, because you are joyful and fun, I do want you to tell everybody like where they can get your podcast and listen to it. And if they want to follow you maybe on the Instagram, in case you do kick off a participation trophy channel.
So the podcast is called Almost Plausible. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. Myself and a couple of friends will take an everyday object, so like a ceiling fan or a paperclip or a toilet brush, and we will create a movie plot based on that object.
I love that.
It's a fun show. We have a good time doing
That's so
it.
fun.
Thank you again for coming. This was so fun. This was such a great conversation. It's always the like minds. We always find each other. All right, friends. So obviously that conversation resonated solidly with me and producer Steph. Now, before we leave you, though, about this conversation, I wanted to take a moment to reference the actual correct name of the book that I kept yammering on about, because I was, in fact, destroying the title. The real title is called 4,000 Weeks, Time Management for Mortals, and it's by a guy named Oliver Burkeman. Now, if you are so busy that you're like, Jesus, I can't even commit to reading that book, I want you to check out the meditation book that he wrote, and it's called Meditation for Mortals, 4 Weeks to Embrace Your Limitations and Make Time for What Counts. Now, what is really cool about this meditation book is it's meant to be 4 weeks. Now, yes, I am aware that that sounds like a big commitment for those of us who are overburdened, overcommitted, all the overs. However, you only have to read a chapter each day. I like to read it in the morning. So we're talking about a 5-minute commitment. It's like 5 to 7 pages that you're going to read each day. And I know it sounds like we're adding more to your already busy schedule, but the whole point of this thing is it's about finding what's important in your life and focusing on that part, not trying to get every single thing done like we do. Now, I am me, and I'm nothing if not honest, so I do have to give you a little full disclosure. I keep starting this book and stopping the book. It's not so much that I'm stopping the book, it's that I keep forgetting that I'm doing the book, but I keep picking it back up and jumping back in. And what I do want to say is that it's totally fine to do that. And what I've found so far is that every day I pick it back up, it's always relevant to my day. So for you overflowing overcommitters, I don't give one of these books a whirl. I found them to be pretty darn great. Okay, friends, that is it for today. Thank you for joining us. Go out there and do stuff, but maybe not too much stuff. Like maybe we try to find balance. I think we can do it. Before we all leave, I want to say so many thanks to Thomas for sitting down and for joining us. And check out his podcast, Almost Plausible too. For more Robin, and you may need that, you probably don't need it, but like if you do, you can follow me at Real Rob Hops on all the platforms, all the socials, as the kids today say. Well Adjusting is an Edit Audio original series. It's exec produced by Steph Colburn and Robin Hopkins. Our producer and editor is Maria Passingham. and our production manager is Kathleen Speckert. Thank you to the entire Edit Audio team and to you for listening. Oh, hey, before you take out those AirPods, this show is just for entertainment. If you are in need of help, please, please, please reach out to a professional. Go ahead and get that help. You deserve it. I think it's 10,000 days.
4,000
Oh, it's
weeks.
4,000.
Time management for mortals.
It's 4,000 weeks. I've been saying 10,000 weeks. It's a lot of it's 10,000 days. 4,000 days. Jesus Christ.